So this week I'm kind of in a panic because I've got a lot of video content, but I don't have enough time to edit it. But I need to get something up for tomorrow, so I thought I'd share with you what I'm doing today. What I'm doing is I'm getting a bunch of brackets and stuff set up for the emergency lights on the new truck. So you can see that that's all set up to be able to go in with just 3 screws there and accommodate the headliner. So that's a tricky shape to make, and then the sides are just to keep me from getting blinded. I found that if I try to weld it on this side, it turns out really crappy, and if I try to weld it from the other side, I can grind it smooth and make it look really pretty, and it just bleeds through to this side. So that's what I'll do on the other one. The way that I did this all is a trick that I learned when I was doing exhaust. You just bend a wire and make the wire fit the shape. I like to trace my wire for this because you can see this one changed shape just a little bit. You can tell that that got bent down when I was manipulating it. But what I do is, let me show you. Those headliners are expensive, by the way. So this is the way it was at first. I just cut this out with the plasma cutter. I just measure it 3 inches by 9 inches. And that's, if I trace this on a ruler and just make it go all the way across, say like that's the ruler, let's just show you for real. I just line it up like that till everything, you know, and just going down the length of the ruler. So you go like that, just trace it like this, trace that on your ruler, run this on it, and then that, and you should end up, I did it wrong, but anyway, you get the idea. But you want to start on your end that touches the glass, which is this end, and then end on that part, which is just going to go to the headliner. So what you do is you line it up in the press brake or metal brake or whatever you want to call it. This one's not a hydraulic. And you just basically mark off the first little bit like that, make a mark, line it up, flip the handle with your non-camera hand. Of course, I'm not going to do this with one hand, I'm going to do it right with 2 hands. But and this is a little crooked, so that's going to be the end. But you just bend it one way, flip it over, bend it the other way, and you just work it back up like that. So anyway, kind of some fun fabrication stuff if you're going to do some light mounts or if you're going to do any kind of bracket. So here's a finished product, what it's going to look like. You got the little ridges and everything, so it fits in there with the headliner going right across here. So pretty slick. It looks good, I think. You can just peel this off and you can see what went into it. You can see the welds. You don't really see them much, but it turned out pretty good, especially on, let's see, that's the first one that you saw. Here's the second one. Look at the second one. I learned from the first one and made the second one better. Pretty clean for the most part. I could do some spot glazing putty or Bondo or something and make it better, but I just don't want to bother. I missed on the hole a little bit. I did a little bit too low on both of them actually. You can see that one too. But for the most part it turned out good. When you take the wire that was used to make that bottom plate part, you can see that the wire matches, you know, almost exactly. So that's why they fit good. I think I had to bend it down a little bit on final just to make sure that it would push up against the windshield pretty good. And I just took a little piece of hose and then you just make a slit in the hose and put this in there, and then this creates an anti-rattle fitment. Also, you can kind of push a hose up against the glass and it blocks the flashback or glare a little bit better. So pretty slick. You'll notice that one of them I ground it more on this side than the other, so this will be the right side because there's a curve on the windshield, so I accommodated for that a little bit. Painted the screws black. These are the ones that were in the back window on my old truck, on the old 2001, the LED light, or atomic LED cab light video. And then this is the one that was used for the back window bracket. It's a real simple one. You can see here the bracket, finished product. This is actually weld stuff, that's run, but it shouldn't be seen. pretty much only see from about here down. Could have done a little bit cleaner, but I just kind of got to where I'm just trying to get done at this point, get the garage freed up again. It's nice to do pretty work, but it's even nicer to have the work get done. This was really hard angle to match. So what I did is I used a plasma cutter. I just cut across the front, but not all the way through. And that made it really easy to fold it back and match the wire. And then once that's done, then I just hit it from here. The gas on the welder, it collects in pockets in there. It doesn't go anywhere, so you're able to hit it with a lot of stick out. And that stick out is what makes it hold the angle like that, and those little buttons. They're not perfectly spaced and perfectly pretty, but they sure work. And then to get the holes right, I'm not going to do one in the middle so you can see these two. But to get the holes right, I just used a caliper on center and then just dinged it and then used it on the drill press. I got a really cool product that I'd like to show you. I was at the industrial supply store the other day and they had something. Some of you guys have probably already seen this, but it's brand new to me. It's called Bow Blue Paste, a Boeing development lubricant. But basically you put this on your drill bits and it makes your holes turn out better, and it makes your junky Harbor Freight drill bits last a whole lot longer. So you just take this, you can see I've got a bunch of metal filings or whatever in it, maybe that's a bad thing. But you just take a little bit of that paste and put it on your drill bits, and it just makes them last a whole lot longer. It doesn't fling off either. It's really nice. As soon as this stuff gets hot, it runs down the bit and lubricates it. So this stuff's amazing, especially if you have to go through something that's hard or something that is a little bit thick, something basically that would burn up your drill bit. This Bow Blue seems to really make the difference. So I'll see if I can find a link to that and put it in the description. Anyway, got my little strobe bulbs and my little projector LED, cargo lights and all that kind of stuff going on. Got everything switched over to LED lights because they're more efficient. With these new diesel trucks, they don't like you to idle it. It actually shows you an odometer and engine hours idling and engine hours running. And so you don't want to leave the engine running. You want to just have the lights hanging there. Another thing I did is I got the pinstriping done on it. Isn't that a mess? It's crazy. It's got 300 miles on it and it's already ripped apart. See, I got the little reflective stripe here. Don't know how well that's showing up on camera. In the daylight it really shows up. You can't even see it until you hit it with light. Let's just turn the light off. Bear with me. So there you can see it a little better. This is just my little mag light, pencil light. If I get the big gun stuff, you'll see it a lot better. You see the stripes really good now. And then of course I did it on the rims too, like I did my last Dodge. This really helps it to show up if you're backing a trailer. That's what I use this for, is to haul trailers. So sometimes you block the road, the coast is clear, and somebody comes flying around the corner, and there you are. So the white truck's awesome. I bought white on purpose because it's easier to see. But just trying to get some visibility on the thing. This doesn't even have a hood lamp. You had to order that in. It was like 20 bucks. A little tip ball bearing hood lamp that's going to go right here. Forgot to pick it up from the dealership. I just been slammed. Busy week. A lot of work getting this put together. I got a really fun video coming up that is about I use the Fox and Hound tool to find which is the backup wire, because this is a 2014. I don't have any wire diagrams to it. So I had to find the wires. The funny thing about these is that there's a bunch of white wires, like you see in airplanes or you see in a lot of European vehicles. They use a lot of wires that are just white. So there's my splice right there. But there's just a ton of white wires and they all look the same. So I needed to find a white and brown, like where that splice is. I couldn't find it, so I sent some tone in through here. I was able to trace down the wire group, you know, like the bundle, and then separate it down and then be able to sniff it out. So I'll do that video here probably on Wednesday. But man, I was happy to have that tool for this. Made it way easier. Cool stuff. The truck's really coming along. Got another video coming up on the folding hardtop tonneau cover. That's going to be, this one's the way to go. It's the undercover flex. So did some homework on that. Man, this truck is so dissected. Poor thing. But it's coming along. Here's an example of a bracket that I built before remembering the wire trick. You can see how poorly that turned out. I tried to make it all one piece, you know, like a fold-up box. But man, it turned out just like poop. You see it's going to go here, and it was just like an inch of gap here. So what I did with the other one is I just cut out the triangles, and that worked a lot better. This video is more reminiscent of my early days of just shoot it in one shot. It's kind of fun to do that because you get a lot of insights and whatever, but it's not quite as cut and polished. I wasn't able to set up lighting, but wanted to get something up, and I didn't want to be up too late tonight because my wife's starting to get mad at me from being out too late every night. So anyway, thanks for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, ideas for the truck, I'd love to hear them, or if you know any tricks for fabricating these things, feel free to chime in. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Cheers. So the switches I just put here, that's top lights, that's low lights. And then I also put little tabs underneath. And these tabs are the ground wires. So when you hit one or the other, it changes the pattern for the lights. And then they're synced together. This piece here, this little bezel, just this bottom part, it's about $20 to replace, so I didn't feel too bad putting a hole in it. So when you turn the lights on, here's what you see. You got that light, it's down out of your eye level view, so it doesn't really bug you. I got a little piece of hose that's slit and put around here. You can see the bracket bolt here, the wire here, another bracket bolt. Not perfect, not cosmetically perfect, but it's decent. The flashback is very minimal. You don't see any from that side at all. Best way to tell is just that light's on, and then you see flashback, you know, off of objects outside the vehicle. So it works pretty good. As for, I'm going to do a whole separate review on the traffic advisor bar, but basically it just goes middle, left, go around to the right, go around either side, first in the middle of the road. This was really bright. I got reviews from everybody else saying that it was just way too bright, so I just put a piece of carbon fiber vinyl over the top of it. And that way it looks sharp, and then I just did a cutout for the buttons and the switches and the like. So that's the way that is, and this actually can come off. It's just on a bracket. I did a really cool bracket for that, and that'll be on that video. So that's what that looks like here. When you look in the rear view mirror, you get a little bit of flashback on that from the top part. I was going to black out that part of the back window, and then decided it's actually pretty helpful. It's not too bright. I went with LEDs that aren't too bad. If you're sitting back there, it might be annoying. But as for, you know, like the cabin and the lights, you can see my hand, it's nice and dark in the cabin. I can certainly see that it's on and be able to know as if that wasn't enough. I really like that there. That's pretty slick. So with all the lights going, there's full front and rear. See a little bit of flashback from that. Not bad. And then I got the strobes in there, and you can hear the strobe unit. It's behind the glove box there, so you can hear that no problem. I'll show you what that looks like from the back. Then of course you put the hazard lights on, and you get that full flash effect. So this way you can be spotted from way down the road, give people all the warning that they need to get around you.